Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go. Welcome to another episode of Door County Girl. Today I am here with my friend Sam Perlman. And Sam and I met a long time ago because I have one of my best friends, Mariah Good, who we don't see each other very much anymore, but we worked together forever.
A long, long time.
Yes. And Sam and Mariah got married, and now they live in Bailey's Harbor, and Sam has this killer job at the Door County Maritime Museum. And I have a billion questions, and he's given me a nice little mini tour before this, so I'm going to let Sam take it away.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and it's great to see you.
Yeah, I love it. I've never been again. I'm a loser. I don't get around, but I mean, I'm going to let you just talk about it because I'm enamored by everything I've seen.
All right, well, the Door County Maritime Museum, 53 years old right now. We have 3 museum locations. We have the main museum campus here in Sturgeon Bay. Then we also have the Death Door Maritime Museum up in Gills Rock, and that's where this organization was founded back in the late 1960s.
Super tiny one then?
The little tiny one.
We went there all the time.
That's a great little museum. And then we also operate and manage the Canine Lighthouse on behalf of the County of Door. That's part of the County Parks Department, but the museum has had an association with Cana Island since the early 1970s. Cool. So 3 museums, we like to say 1 history, 3 ports of call. So you can explore Door County's maritime history at all 3 locations.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're really excited by all the growth that has been going on here, especially here at the museum in Sturgeon Bay. We just built the new Kress Maritime Lighthouse Tower Edition.
It's amazing. Kit and I just gave a little walkabout up there. I could sit up there all day, eat lunch on your deck up there, everything. It's just beautiful.
It's pretty exciting, and everything that's going on here at the museum and the West Waterfront, and then we've got a big restoration project on schedule for Cana Island for this year. Our team was just up at Gills Rock yesterday getting ready for what we think is going to be another very busy summer season, so we're excited by all the things that are going on. And one of the things that we really like to emphasize, obviously we are a peninsula, we're surrounded by water. All of Door County's history is maritime history because everybody who's ever come here has come here because of the water. From First Nations up until today's tourists, everybody comes by or because of the water. So all Door County maritime history, or all Door County history is maritime history.
Which you have this amazing room where we sat and we watched the little mini video about water, and that was really good. I mean, there's a lot of things going on and great pictures, and I think we learned 4 new things. Kit and I were like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that either.
So that's the introductory experience in the Kress Maritime Lighthouse Tower. The tower is designed to tell as comprehensive of the maritime history story of Door County as we can in a relatively limited space, but it's really designed as one story and its individual chapters. So you start your experience, you go in, you watch that little movie, it's about 12 minutes long, it introduces all the different subjects, and then you take the elevator up to the top. You look out over the working waterfront of Sturgeon Bay. You can see all the interactive exhibits that explain what you're looking at as you're looking out.
And tell a little bit about the interactive exhibits, because those are very clever.
So when we were originally designing those exhibits, we were going to have like viewers that you would peer through and push a button and it would show you what it looked like as you went back in time. And then once construction was completed and we got up there and we realized you don't want to block the view. So we changed the exhibits that they're all touch screens, and really it's just explaining what you're looking at as you're looking out really 360 degrees around the working waterfront of Sturgeon Bay. So it talks about the digging of the Sturgeon Bay Ship Canal, Fincantieri Bay shipbuilding, the downtown bridges, marine travel lift, all the different businesses, the shipwrecks that are right here in the Sturgeon Bay Ship Canal and in Sturgeon Bay itself. All of those things are explained. and then you work your way down each floor of exhibits. So you start with the geologic origins of the peninsula and people and navigation, commerce, shipbuilding, recreational boating, commercial fishing, and all of the life that's underwater. And then the last floor is what lies beneath, which is shipwrecks. And you got a chance to experience that.
Like, we were driving the ship in there, and we sunk right outside of Chambers Island, no matter what.
That's what happens, unfortunately.
I know.
Not
we already knew the future.
Not all boating adventures end well. So the shipwrecks, and then you exit through the museum store, and then you have the rest of the museum to explore as well.
It is amazing. I mean, I kind of follow you guys online sometimes and read some articles and read your updates. But when you actually physically come here and see the work that you guys have done and still is in progress, tell us about the rooms that we were in and what they do to assemble a room, because you were explaining that to us, and all the custom work and all.
Yeah, so
that was super interesting.
We built the tower. It was one project, and then filling it with 10 floors of exhibits is a whole separate project. We had a request for proposals out. We got over a dozen responses, and we ultimately picked a company called Southern Custom Exhibits out of Anniston, Alabama, and this is what they do.
Which is so interesting to me, Alabama.
Right, they build museum exhibits for organizations and museums all around the country. They put together a whole team of researchers and designers and other contractors, interactive contractors, and then we worked on first an interpretive plan for the whole tower experience. And then we do each individual floor one by one. The researcher works with our curatorial team to develop the stories, the themes, what exactly the content is going to be, and we go back and forth over several different versions and drafts. And then once we've locked in what the content is and what the story is, then the designers come in and they figure out what the exhibits are going to look like, where the interactives are going to go, what images we're going to use, what stories we're going to tell, and how we're going to tell them. And again, that process back and forth as they put together a draft, and we make comments back, and then they make changes, and this goes on and on and on. And then finally, once we've done that, then that plan goes to construction drawings, and then that's when the Southern crew at Southern Custom comes together, and they actually build it. And they build it in their studio down in Anniston, Alabama. They have the outline of our exhibit floors taped onto the floor of their workshop. They build it up without graphics, make sure it all fits together, then they take it apart, package it up, put it on a truck, and bring it up here.
Sounds like Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant. We took all the logs, built it in Norway first, numbered the logs, took it down, put it on a ship, brought it over, and put it together.
That's exactly
to make sure
right.
Everything fit.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
So they've done that. They've been here 3 times for
now, do they
the
come
first
with
floor
the
floors.
project?
Yes.
To assemble it.
Absolutely. Okay. And they come up here. They've had their crew up here 3 times already. They will be back in a few weeks to assemble 3 more floors, and then we have 3 more floors to go. Those floors will be done probably by the middle of this summer, but when they come, they really kind of take up the space, so we can't have them during the busy summer season.
So it's hard to work around.
It would be impossible to work around. So we will have 7 floors complete by hopefully by the end of May, beginning of June, and then they'll come back after the season is over, probably September, October, finish out the project. But they've been such great partners, and we've so enjoyed working with them. We have plans for other upgrades around this museum, and we are certainly going to keep working with them on smaller projects going forward.
And even if you needed something for the Gills Rock one or Cana Islands, you could still have some things in mind that you might want to implement in those as well.
Yeah, so up on Cana Island this year, we're looking at the 4th and final phase of the major restoration. So when the County of Door took ownership of Cana Island in the early 2000s, we did a historic structures report and looked at all the things that we needed to do to preserve all the buildings on Cana Island and make sure that they were accessible for visitors for generations to come. That included the exterior restorations of the building, that included building bathrooms out there, that's the new parking lot. Then in 2020, we had the new Welcome and Interpretive Center that got built. Of course, right in the middle of a pandemic. And then this is the fourth and final phase, which is the interior restoration of the keeper's quarters and the lighthouse tower itself. So they're going to come in and clean up all of the keeper's quarters. We are going to ultimately turn it into, it looked like approximately in the 1920s, 1930s. And all that work is going to happen starting this summer, hopefully mid-April, and that'll last probably through Labor Day this summer.
I remember when I used to go over there and have to take your shoes off and have to walk across because it was all water, and then you walk over there and it was just all it was the lighthouse, and you just walked around and then you would walk back. Right,
and that was exactly what that historic structures report was. The intention was to be able to make those buildings accessible.
Yeah.
And since the county took possession of Can Island and we've worked with them on all of those restoration projects, now we have been able to have people go in there, and that facility, as Can Island and Gills Rock are both open seasonally, May to October, and we welcome thousands and thousands of people every year.
That's awesome.
Our team was up there yesterday, and yeah, the causeway's dry right now, and we think with lower water levels, it's going to be like that all summer long.
You don't ever have to build a bridge or anything, do you?
We can't, unfortunately, but we've had the hay wagon and the tractor that has gone back and forth.
Why can't you build a bridge?
DNR. Rules.
That's so funny because we just sold a piece of property out on Marshall Point, and the DNR made us build a bridge. So I'm like a little baffled here. So in order to sell the 2 lots, we had to build a bridge to make the island accessible.
Really? Interesting.
Kind of odd. I'll have to show that to you sometime.
Yeah, I would like to hear more about that.
And what about Gills Rock? Any big plans for that one, or that one just stays kind of the same for now?
Nothing major, but we are doing some tweaks. We opened a new exhibit up there last summer called From Net to Table. It's a photography exhibit that shows the contemporary fishing industry. You know, people think that, oh, fishing used to be a big industry in Door County. Well, it's not as big as it used to be, but it is still a multi-generational family business for several families.
Yeah.
You know, the Weborgs and the Henriksons and the Hickeys, those folks are still actively fishing the waters around the Door Peninsula. So we really wanted to highlight them, and not just the people who are bringing the fish in, but the people who are doing everything. So it is literally from net to table. It's the people who are bringing in the fish, the people who are processing the fish, the people who are cooking the fish, the people who are doing the fish boils, and the people who are serving the fish at local tables.
Great idea. And do you come up with these ideas?
It's a combination. We have a great team here at the museum. We have a terrific leadership team, curatorial team.
How many people do you work with when you're trying to figure out these ideas? Because I feel like everybody has great ideas. How do you nail it down to one without everybody fighting about it?
No, we've got a really good staff that works well together. We've got about a dozen full-time year-round. We have some year-round part-time folks, and then we hire a bunch of people like everybody else during the summer season.
Okay, do you ever take volunteers?
Oh, absolutely. Ooh. We are always looking for volunteers.
And what do the volunteers do?
Volunteers will be docents, and they will lead tours here at the museum in Sturgeon Bay or up in Gills Rock. The folks who drive the tractor across the causeway are volunteers. We have volunteer docents at Can Island. We have folks who help at some of the events that we put on every year. We have folks who will help us in our office. So we have a variety of volunteer roles. So if anybody's interested, give us a call anytime.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to volunteer to do something if I wasn't working all the time. When you are talking about this whole entity as this, you rely mostly on donations, right? From other people? Or how do you guys get your money for all this project?
Sure. Well, so the operations of the museum are based on museum admissions. There's a cost to go into this museum or any of the other properties. For the larger projects, yeah, we are just finishing up the capital campaign for the Kress Maritime Lighthouse Tower. We got a significant grant from the state of Wisconsin that helped us close out that capital campaign. And then, you know, we have our eyes on some other things going forward. The next big benchmark for this organization as a whole, we want to be accredited with the American Alliance of Museums. There are about 35,000 museums of varying sizes throughout the United States and North America, and a very small percentage of them are accredited.
How can you get accredited?
It's a very involved process. They will work with you. It takes usually about a year to 18 months, and they look at every aspect of your organization, from your finances to your storage facilities, your collections, how you interpret and how you educate your community, how you engage with your community, and ultimately that will lead to it's really the top shelf in terms of being an accredited museum. It's all peer reviewed, and then what that allows us to do is ultimately we have the opportunity to be able to borrow artifacts from organizations like the Smithsonian. I mean, the top level museums in the country. If there's something that we would want, a story that we want to tell that's associated with a artifact that the Smithsonian has, if you're an accredited museum, you have the opportunity to get that into your museum.
Oh, that is so amazing. So far, you've got a good start.
We do. We really
do. Your ideas are great. Everything just seems like it's falling into place. When it comes to this place, do people learn about the shipbuilding around you here? A little bit of the history of like what happened over here with Peterson Builders, and then do they still build the mega yachts and things like that, or do you tell people about that still? Or
absolutely. I mean, shipbuilding is one of the biggest industries in Door County.
Because I don't really think people thought about shipbuilding so much recently as the involvement in the Ukraine, of course, when they talked about the oligarchs and with the big ship that was confiscated, that was actually built right here in Sturgeon Bay. Yeah,
the Lady M, I remember when that was launched here in 2013. I mean, it's not often you see a vessel sitting here in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin that's 150 feet. I think it has a helicopter pad on it.
I know, I would drive down here and look at them going, okay, this is insane.
I think if I remember correctly, that one has a berth on the boat for a 23-foot boat. You can put your 23-foot boat in your yacht.
That's their dinghy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh no, I think they have a dinghy for that.
Well, and then they have a dinghy for that one too.
Right. Because you can never have too much boat, right?
That's crazy. Are you willing to share that funny story that you told me before about the guy that was working on the?
Well, I'm not confirmed, so I don't want to go ahead and share it. I don't want to because I don't know for sure if it's true or not.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Anyways. It is a good story.
That's a secret, everyone. You have to ask me later. Anyway, what about kids programs? Do you have any kids programs here? Do you have anything coming up that everybody would be into that would want to get kids involved? Because I just love history.
We absolutely do, and that's a bedrock of this organization. When Kevin is our executive director, Kevin Osgood, when he and I first got here 3.5 years ago, there hadn't been a consistent education program, and we've really worked hard to get that established over the last couple of years. COVID didn't help, but we've got some great programs going forward right now. We've got a program called Sea Perch, which is a underwater robotics program. We have a cardboard regatta program, and one of the things that's going to come out of all of that work and interpretation on the tower exhibits is we are going to also get a educational outreach program that will be matched with Wisconsin state standards and statutes. And we are just about to hire and we're going to announce very soon, a new education program coordinator who is actively going to take all of those programs and get us really deeply engaged with all 5 of the local school districts, as well as school districts throughout the Northeast Wisconsin region. So yeah, making sure that we are well engaged with all the area school districts and that they understand the importance of maritime history as part of Door County history. So yeah, absolutely. Education is a big part of it.
A lot of people just don't know where they live. Like, what is it about where you live? It's so cool that you can see this about, because I don't live right in Sturgeon Bay, but it's neat to come down here and be up in that observation window and look around and say, wow, and look at the old pictures versus the new pictures and see what it used to look like, the bridge that twisted there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the old railway bridge.
Yeah, it's neat to know where you come from.
It is. It really is.
And even if you don't live right here, you're still kind of close enough to know, hey, Sturgeon Bay is right next to me. I didn't know that they did this.
Right. Well, we were talking about the marine travel lift. If you go anywhere in the world and you go to a marina, marine travel lifts, they are mobile boat hoists. They pick boats up out of the water, put them into a marina and put them out of a marina and put them back in the water.
Yeah, they're on 4 wheels, like almost like a car. Right. Because he just pointed it out over there. And you were saying that almost every place in the world has one.
Absolutely. They are the world's leading manufacturer of mobile boat hoists. And you go anywhere in the world and you go to a marina and you likely will see one or more of those marine travel lifts taking boats in and out of the water.
And yeah, and Sam goes, it's made right there. And he just points right out the window, and there's like the little factory over there that those are made of. And of course, we look across at the bay, the canal here, and there's like 3 of them right there.
Right, and you go up to Sister Bay and you go to JJ's,
Yes,
and there's 3 of them right there.
I know, because traffic has to stop all the way up the road when a boat's going across
That's
the road.
right.
We're all like, oh boy.
Yeah, you bet.
I think it's kind of cool when the boats go across the road.
It is, but to know that, and that's one of the things that we want to emphasize, is that what happens here in Sturgeon Bay and in Door County has a global impact.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about that movie that we watched, that the boats that were built here in Sturgeon Bay during the Second World War. They were turning out a new boat every 5 days.
Which is insane.
Right, and and that a boat that was built in Sturgeon Bay participated in every theater of war during the Second World War. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of vessels that were built right out here.
That was something I never knew. Like,
Yeah.
I'm watching that little movie, and it was how long? The
About
movie?
12 minutes.
Yeah, I learned so much in 12 minutes that I had no idea.
And a big part of that story, it was in 2019, it was the 75th anniversary of D-Day. We came into the museum and Kevin said, hey, I wonder if there were any boats that were built in Sturgeon Bay that participated in the Normandy invasion. Well, took a quick look. Turns out the very first Allied vessel that was sunk on D-Day was a patrol craft that was built here in Sturgeon Bay.
Wow.
And it was built here. It was launched in February of '44. It was gone by June of '45, and the captain of that vessel purposefully turned broadside to face the beach to draw enemy fire away from the landing craft so that the soldiers could get onto the beaches, and that boat was sacrificed on purpose.
Gosh, that is incredible. That's such good history, you know, for us to hear, because it's so small here.
Right. I mean, you think of this,
Yeah.
it's just a little
Like
town
big
in Wisconsin.
cities do it, but not little places.
And that's, again, reinforcing the global impact that this community has.
That is crazy. Wow. Did they sacrifice themselves?
There were lives lost in that, indeed.
Yeah. Wow. And then was it any? Actually, I don't know if this makes any difference here, but my friend Betsy's dad was a designer of Burger boats, and did that have anything to do with the Maritime Museum here too?
Well,
or-
Berger was obviously Manitowoc,
Right.
but it was part of the larger Northeast Wisconsin boat building economy. Those boat builders still exist down there, as well as up here, and now it's all part of the North Coast Marine Manufacturing Alliance.
Sure.
And that's part of the education program, because they are reaching out to local school districts and supporting programs like the Sea Perch Underwater Robotics program to hopefully inspire kids to go into marine-related industries.
Right. I mean, they're jobs. There could be future jobs for all kinds of kids that are
For
interested
sure.
in the water.
Yeah, I mean,
And then my whole history lesson
Yeah.
was always from Betsy about the boats down here, because we would stand up at the cash register and she'd show me pictures of all these boats that
Oh,
her
yeah.
dad was building and designing and whatever.
the Collenberg engines that were made down in Two
Yeah.
Rivers, all of that it's all one big Northeast Wisconsin regional industry of shipbuilding and marine manufacturing.
God, rightly so. Look where we are, all around water. Like you said, that one room where we just start out, we're all around water.
Yep, we are defined by water.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks for coming here today, Sam.
Well, thank
and
you.
letting us come here and giving us a mini tour. I can't wait for everything to be finished, because I want to go and look at everything. It's so amazing.
Well, I'm so glad you made it down. It was great to see
Everybody
you.
should come down and check this out in this summer. Even if it's just partially done, you should come and check it out. It is amazing. You do a wonderful job here.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm so proud that you're part of this.
It's our honor, really.
Yeah.
You know, we're the current custodians of Door County's maritime history, and someone will come after us, but we're having a lot of fun with it right now.
And you could even say that you live in Bailey's Harbor, which was the first little town founded up in the peninsula.
That is correct.
You live right there, Bailey's
do.
Harbor. I learned that in the little mini video. Bam, bam. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Door County Girl, everyone. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to come and visit Sam here at the Door County Maritime Museum because it is fabulous.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sam.
You bet. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.